Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Andrew Gillis. I am the sports editor for the Post. Alongside me is Cameron Fields. He is our second of three football beat writers. We are here at Peden Stadium. Ohio Picture Day is going on right behind us. Today was Ohio Media Day, and what that meant was all the coaches, all the coordinators, 6 players came out. They talked to us about what they thought of the first week of fall camp, which includes tomorrow. We got a lot of information. Cam, what was something that stuck out to you?
I think something that really stuck out to me was that Frank Solich is really adamant about putting more points on the board. Ohio was the leader in field goals last year in the MAC. He's really focused on putting more points on the board, not being as reliant on the defense like they were last year. So I think that's a good thing for them going forward, especially considering they have the offense to put points on the board, and they have potential to be an explosive offense, even though Frank Solich likes to keep possession and not necessarily run that hurry-up offense that so much of college football likes to do.
So, yeah, that's a good point. I don't have the numbers on hand, but I believe it was 28 field goal attempts, or 28 attempts are made. I can't really remember right now. But that was the number for Louis Zervos, and I believe it was 9 more than the second kicker in the MAC. So Louis Zervos was definitely overused, I guess, if you talk to Coach Solich and Coach Albin. Putting points on the board is a definitely a stepping stone for the team this year. Terrell Basham gone, Blair Brown gone, Casey Sales gone. All 3 of those players are in NFL training camps right now. And then you lose some other guys on the defense.
Kurt
Lasik, exactly. So the defense is really going to be a youth movement. They're going to have 3 new defensive linemen, although all projected starters are going to be redshirt seniors, at least right now. They're not exactly young, but they're somewhat inexperienced. Not a lot of them have starting experience. So it'll be interesting to see how that defensive line goes together.
Well, no, I mean, not necessarily, because, Coach Burrow was talking about how they played like 30 snaps a game.
Yeah, exactly.
So they did get they got a good amount of experience. It's just the thing with the defensive line is how are they going to have the depth in terms of who's coming after them? Because that's a big thing to look at. Chukludu, he's a player to look at, and then you have Brian Art, you have Kent Berger. Those are guys that can produce for the Bobcats in terms of having depth at the defensive line position.
So that's exactly right. Sometimes you would look at the defensive line and pretty much any other position on the defense last year, and it was just a rotating carousel. Every play, there's 3 guys going in, 3 guys going out. A lot of that has to do with sub packages and formations, but a lot of that has to do with just keeping guys fresh. So Cam's exactly right. They may not have starting experience, but a lot of these guys are coming in. And they're not new to college football. The only exception would be if you start a true freshman. Tough to see that happening right now on the defensive line, but you never know. It is only August 4th. On the offensive side of the ball, that's where the points are going to come in because they lost some talent on defense. They've got to do something better. They just added some new titles this year. First being Jimmy Burrow is now the associate head coach. Coach Tim Albin, the offensive coordinator, running backs coach, is now the passing game coordinator, and Dave Johnson, the offensive line coach, is the running game coordinator. Coach Johnson jokes me that it's just a position for him to get yelled at if something goes wrong. But it's interesting to see those staff shakeups. I'm not going to insinuate anything about Coach Solich, but those are associate head coach is something that maybe you see moving forward. Coach Burrow steps into that. Like I said, I don't want to insinuate anything. We don't know anything. But those were the titles that got announced today. But it seems like running under center is going to be a big emphasis for these guys this year. So Cam, you talked to AJ for a little bit. How did he seem, and what did you think of him?
AJ, he's still feeling really good. He's confident in his foot. He had the foot injury against Texas State, but he still believes he can take 25 to 30 carries and be okay. He hasn't had any problems. But as Coach Solich said in the press conference, they really haven't had much contact yet, so they got to see how he does against contact. But right now, he says he's feeling okay. At the end of my interview, he was like, salvage the offensive line. Running backs really do love that offensive line. And Coach Solich seems like he's most confident about the offensive line in terms of all the units on the football team. So it seems like he really likes the way the offensive line is made up, with Joe Lowry being a captain. But it seems like, he's really confident about that offensive line.
So last thing for Cam, you talked to Coach Dixon for a while. He seemed very excited about the wide receivers. What did he tell you?
He was very excited in terms of it being like an ensemble, and where the defense couldn't pinpoint on one guy, where it was like last year they could hone in on Sebastian Smith, because basically the ball's coming to Sebastian Smith, and Sebastian Smith, he was the #1 receiver for the Bobcats, but Coach Dixon likes that he told me that he likes to have ensembles instead of having it where it's one guy, and then it makes it easier on the play caller. There's more options, and then like I said, there's not one guy that defense can focus on. So he's very excited about having a group of people that can produce like equally.
So that's pretty much the wrap up. That's everything that happened today. Hopefully that's a quick debriefer on everything on offense, everything on defense. Obviously there's still more to come. Obviously there's still more to be talked about. It's only August 4th, but football season's here. It's a nice day in Athens. Rained a little bit earlier. After the rain, but that'll do it from us today. There's no scoreboard right now, which was an interesting thing. It's currently being worked on. There's no side scoreboards either. There's construction going on in the stadium, and a month, 28 days, I guess? So that would be September 2nd. Hampton comes to town. That's all from us. Thanks for watching, guys.